Scenario 1. Peak performance. Digitalization offers tremendous growth potential for the whole economy. The prospect of advances in productivity, increasing revenues, and new business models is pushing up prices on equity markets. Cheap money is readily available, but only if one gets in early, one has a chance at obtaining a big piece of the pie. Bold and proactive corporate strategies are called for to ensure one does not get left behind by the digital transformation. Even politics is taking action. The core projects for boosting the competitiveness of European companies include the further development of the digital single market in the EU, tax relief, broad deregulation, common technical standards, public investment in pilot projects, and new R&D clusters, as well as comprehensive broadband provision. There's a lot going on. For many occupational groups, job prospects are bleak in the early 2020s, and the global war for talents is in full swing. In order to hire the best sought-after specialists, fixed working time-related remuneration is linked to performance-related bonus and incentive schemes. Commitment, mobility, and flexibility are expected, but also rewarded accordingly. The strong productivity increases enable growth and security of employment in high-wage Germany. But it is not only the trade unions who are complaining that the digitalization dividend is not being shared equally, that the low-wage sector for activities with low productivity is growing, and in the wake of automation and digitalization, whole occupational groups are being de-skilled. The restrictions on where and when work can be performed are being removed in more and more areas of activity, which means that people's own homes, cafes, or park benches, as well as railway stations and trains, are becoming productive places. Agile assistance and monitoring software, as well as team leader apps, enable management to get to grips with the growing complexity of production processes. In this way, workers on the shop floor can be interlinked, individually briefed and supported, just like in-house and out-house employees. The monitoring of all processes is important for production, and it naturally also includes comprehensive personal data on the employees. Because key performance indicators have to be clearly quantifiable, it is inevitable that soft factors, such as work environment, psychological stress, or personal well-being, are increasingly sidelined, even though physical data, too, are now routinely tracked. In the early 2030s, technical systems have become key actors in the world of work. They take decisions and guide workers. Management bots put project teams together. They tender for required goods and services in digital marketplaces. Machines and human beings can actively compete for contracts here. People just have to get used to having bots as customers, superiors, and colleagues. How is one supposed to resolve a conflict with an algorithm or a cobot? How does one deal with instructions that appear to be unjustified or that impinge on one's personal scope of discretion? Many experience the transformation as a continuous compression and acceleration of their working day. Adjustment to new task fields and work processes has to be accomplished in ever shorter periods of time. The polarization of human resources has increased further. On one hand, highly qualified smart talents, code workers, creatives, and specialized service workers. On the other hand, the growing number of workers whose every movement is specified by algorithms. Success in this context means high speed and a low error rate. In 2035, a large proportion of the economically active are de facto self-entrepreneurs, who offer their services in digital marketplaces. Service avatars provide them with support with individually tailored personal branding strategies. Employment relationships can be concluded over 2 years, 1 month, or even on the basis of single orders. There is no shortage of demand for human labor. One simply has to remain visible and achieve an acceptable score. Smaller orders are often taken on free of charge as a way of maintaining contacts and staying in the game. In many areas of activity, people have to compete with rivals from all over the world, while in others, they remain strongly localized. Competition between human beings and machines is intensifying in many sectors too. A working hour of a service provider or a specialist on the shop floor is now traded at between 60 and 400 euros, depending on qualifications. In the case of performance packages at fixed prices, the number of hours actually worked tends to be higher than what was initially calculated. However, a working hour of a new generation analysis or industry bot, which can be operational 24/7, only comes in at around 20 euros, including installation and maintenance. People are increasingly looking to upgrade their intellectual and physical skills by means of neuroenhancements, implants, and functional foods. There is a certain irony in the fact that in 2035, controversy is raging about the pros and contras of bots capable of reproduction, while the now widespread practice of egg freezing among female workers has become a controversial issue of debate again. It has been generally assumed for quite some time that it is probably not such a good idea to become pregnant during the most productive years of one's life. The high turnover and distribution of employees over work locations and time zones makes it harder to take a common view of interests, or to negotiate generally valid working standards and wage rates. However, strong co-determination and effective collective agreements, employment guarantees, and social plans are not in keeping with the times. People try to improve their lot on their own initiative.